Every so often in the wild, a podcaster finds another podcaster, and I'm here with JB from Camp Nightmare Podcast. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, man. I'm enjoying Creature Feature. It's only day 2, and it's already lit.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. We had a really big night last night. We hosted the Friday the 13th Halloween franchise showdown panel, and Savini just showed up without us knowing at all. Tom Savini just showed up to our panel, and it was fucking incredible to interview him. Yeah. How was your guys' experience so far?
Our experience has been pretty good so far, man. We sat down, we got a lot of good interviews, and met a lot of cool people. So, I always love Creature Feature. It's one of my favorite cons to do.
Dude, this is our third year doing it. We've been here every year that they've done it. Yeah. And it's funny, what you guys are doing, the first year we were here, we just straight up guerrilla style. We're like jumping on people and interviewing them, and that's kind of how we developed our format for the podcast was guinea pigging in here. But yeah, man, it's been a blast. We were talking before the interview started about what you guys do in terms of mental health and the genre community, and that's kind of why we're here, right? This is our chance to get together with our people and be a lifeline for each other, and that's kind of what I've seen only in a day already being here. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, that's what I love about coming to cons like this, is because outside in gen and pop area, you kind of feel just like a weirdo. Yeah. And then you come to this and you're like, oh, I'm accepted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very much so. We talk on our show all the time about how important it is to reach out to your community and reach out to the people in the genre community. Because for a lot of us, this is our lifeline, right? I was talking to Damon from Slasher last night about how art in general is sort of it's an expression, right? It's a coping mechanism. In horror in particular, and for most fans that I know, is a coping mechanism. It's a way to process trauma sort of vicariously and get through it, right? And that seems like that's what you guys are about, that's what we're about, and that's what this whole community is about, is a way to sort of collectively say yeah, shit's fucked up, but we can make it. So
yeah, man. All right, so you brought up this earlier, and I'm curious. I wasn't at the panel last night. So who wins between Jason and Michael?
Ooh, I think ultimately Jason, only because there were more people from Friday the 13th on that panel than there was only 2 people from the Halloween franchise, and Savini was dead set against Halloween. He was no, fuck that. He kept saying, I killed this person, and we were like, do you mean that you did the makeup? And he's like, no, I killed him. And we were like, okay. But ultimately, I think it was Jason, man. I think he won hands down over Michael. I think that Jason is the more brutal killer between the two of them. So, it's not to discount Michael in any way, but, at the end of the day, Jason's the one that keeps coming back.
Well, Michael does have Thorn on his side. So.
Well, that depends on which timeline you want to go with. That, and that's the thing, is that at least with Friday the 13th, there's just one through line. There's one timeline that they're Halloween has been reinvented so many times that you can choose your own timeline, and Michael keeps coming back. Yeah.
You could also argue the same for Jason.
Maybe. Towards the later films, yeah, they definitely had to start getting creative with how he was still alive. I think what is it, 6, where Tommy accidentally electrocutes him back to life. That was a little over the top, but
What about part 7? Because part 7 is.
Oh, we don't speak about part 7.
Oh. I don't know, man. There's a weird subgroup of people that it's got a cult classic now.
Well, and we kind of talked about that last night on the panel, is that there are certain Friday the 13th films that people love those and no other portion of that saga, right? People that love part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, don't love anything else in the Friday the 13th realm, but they love part 8, and arguably that's the worst Friday the 13th movie, to me at least, that or part 9. But part 7 makes, you could take that movie out of the series and nothing would change, right? Yeah.
You could also do the same with part 8. It's
Dude, everything from 7 on you could feasibly take out, and it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, the New Line years, we just covered Jason Goes to Hell in our podcast, and so it's the New Line years are definitely weird when it comes to continuity, because they're just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's more about Bob Shea than anything else, right? The guy that owned New Line, I've watched a lot of interviews and a lot of docs about New Line, and like I love New Line for what they were, right, and for what they are. That like they pushed the genre community forward when no one else was, and Bob Shaye took chances that no one else was willing to take. But he was also like just sort of a crazy person when it came to production and when it came to like producing films, and like would just produce the most ridiculous shit possible for seemingly no reason, right? Like when you think about how Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one, got made, that movie should not have been made. Like, if you think about the premise of that film and what it was to look like for Wes Craven to pitch that to Bob Shaye, like, it's insane that that movie got made. And same deal with, like, the later Friday movies, man. Like, the New Line era of Friday the 13th, like you said, is just bonkers. Like, there's no through lines in it. It doesn't make sense. Like, Jason Goes to Hell, he's a fucking, like, earwig the entire film.
Jason Goes to Space, a.k.a. Jason X.
Oh, yeah.
Also gave us David Cronenberg coming into it, which is just bonkers. Bonkers, absolutely.
It's my birthday today, speaking of Cronenberg, and one of my buddies showed up and got me these for my birthday on Blu-ray. Yeah, because I offhandedly said, man, I need to start collecting more Cronenberg on Blu-ray. Speaking of Cronenberg, have you seen Crimes of the Future yet?
It is one of my favorites of this year.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, all I could say is Cronenberg is back, right? Like it's the first body horror he's done in like 30 years, and it's great. Yeah.
All right. Well, my last question, of course, is where can people find the podcast online?
You can go to campnightmare.com. We're also on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, every streaming service possible. But I would say campnightmare.com. You can check out everything there.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Make sure that you guys check the links in the bio and check out Camp Nightmare podcast wherever you guys get your podcasts from.